Grammar can often feel a little bit stiff, right? Like a bunch of rules frozen in a textbook. But the world around us isn't frozen at all. It's moving, it's changing, it's in motion. So, to talk about a world that's alive and moving, we need grammar that can move with it. And that, my friends, is the present continuous tense. Think about it this way. What's the difference between a photograph and a video? A photo, it's a single, frozen moment in time. A bird is just stuck there in the sky. But life isn't a photograph, is it? Life is a video. It's full of action. It's full of progress. You can't use a photograph tense to describe a video. You need to press play. And in English grammar, pressing play means using the present continuous.
So, how do we build this grammar of motion? Well, the best part is, it's not complicated at all. It's actually a super simple, really logical formula. To get the present continuous right every time, all you need are 3 basic building blocks.
Okay, let's lay out those blocks. First up, block 1, the subject. That's just the person or thing doing the action. Simple enough? Block 2 is our super important helper verb. This is always a form of the verb to be. So, am, is, or are. And then block 3 is the magic ingredient, the action verb, but with those 3 little letters at the end, ing. That ing is basically the engine of the whole sentence. It's what makes everything feel like it's happening now.
Now, here's a rule you've got to get right every time. The subject and the helper verb are a team. They have to match perfectly. So if the subject is I, the helper is always am, no exceptions. For singular subjects like he, she, or it, the helper is always is. And for plural subjects, we, you, or they, the helper has to be are. Okay, here's a quick tip to help you sound way more natural. While saying I am driving is 100% correct, you'll find that native speakers almost always shorten it. We love being efficient. We just squish the subject and the helper verb into one sound. So I am becomes I'm, she is turns into she's, and they are becomes their. It just makes everything flow a lot better.
All right, let's look at the first and most common way we use this tense. This is for describing an action that is happening at this exact moment. So imagine a woman named Sarah. She hopped in her car about 10 minutes ago, but she's not at the office yet. Right now, she's in the middle of her journey. The video is playing. So what is she doing? She is driving. Okay, ready to try it yourself? Let's play a little game. I'm going to describe a scene, and I want you to say the full sentence out loud. Ready? Okay, picture this. A man is bent down, he's holding the 2 strings of his shoe, and he's about to make a little bow. What is he doing? I'll give you a few seconds. Did you get it? He's tying his shoelace. Exactly. See how it works? We've got our subject, he, our helper is, which we've contracted to is, and our action verb tying. Perfect.
Let's try one more. Okay, this time, picture a busy city street. There's a whole group of people, and they step off the sidewalk together. They're moving across the road to the other side. So, what are they doing?
They're crossing the road. Excellent. And notice how our building blocks had to change a little bit there, right? Because it's more than one person, our subject became they. And if the subject is they, what does the helper verb have to be? Are. So, they are, or they're, crossing the road.
So far, so good. That's pretty straightforward. But this is where the present continuous gets really cool and a bit more flexible. What if the action isn't happening in this exact tiny microsecond? What happens when we need to kind of stretch the definition of now?
Let's imagine your friend Steve. He's on the phone with you, just chatting. And he says, "Oh, I'm reading a really good book right now." But wait a minute, you know he's on the phone. He's not holding a book. His eyes aren't on a page. So is Steve lying? What's going on here? No, of course not. He's just zoomed out. He's using a wider definition of now. He means he started the book a few days ago. He hasn't finished it yet, so he's in the middle of the process of reading it. The video of him reading that book might be paused for the phone call, but the movie isn't over. It's happening around now. And you see this idea everywhere. If someone says, "She is learning Italian," it doesn't mean she has a textbook in her hands that very second. It means it's a process that's going on these days or these months. Same with they are building a new house. That's a huge ongoing project. It can even be for a shorter, temporary period, like, "Wow, you're working hard today." And this idea of an ongoing temporary action leads us perfectly into our third major use,
If this tense is all about things in progress, then it's absolutely perfect for describing situations that are actively changing, transforming from one state into another.
When we talk about these transitions, you'll start to notice we often use a specific group of verbs. Words that really show that sense of movement and transformation. Verbs like getting, becoming, increasing, or improving. These are the action words for a world that is changing.
So here's an example that's probably very true for you right now. Think about your own language journey. You're putting in the work, you're learning. A month ago, your skills were here, but today, they're here. The situation is improving, it's moving upward. It's a change in progress. So you can say, with confidence, my English is getting better.
Okay, so you know the three main uses. But to really have this tense down, you need to be able to play with the formula a little bit, to ask questions, and to make negative sentences. And the great news is, once you see the pattern, it's incredibly easy.
To turn a statement into a question, all you do is a little switcheroo. You take the helper verb, that am, is, or are, and you just move it to the very front of the sentence, before the subject. That's it. So the statement, you are listening, easily flips to become the question, are you listening?
And making a negative is even simpler. To say an action is not happening, you just need one little word, not. And the rule is always the same. It pops in right after the helper verb. So she is working becomes she is not working. Or if you want to use that contraction we talked about, she isn't working.
All right, we have covered a lot of ground today. I think it's time for one final test to pull all of these new skills together. Let's see if you can spot the mistake in a common error.
Okay, I'm going to give you a slightly broken sentence. I want you to find the error and say the correct version out loud. Here it is. What you are doing. What's wrong with that? I'll give you a second. The correct answer is, what are you doing? Remember that question rule? The helper verb are has to jump in front of the subject you.
You've done fantastic work. Let's do a super quick, high-energy recap. We learned that the present continuous is our video tense, and it has three main jobs. Number one, for actions happening right this second, like she is driving. Number two, for actions happening in a bigger bubble of time, or around now, like I'm reading a good book. And number three, for describing situations in transition, like my English is getting better. But this leaves us with one final, really interesting question. We've mastered the grammar for things happening now, but what if an action happens all the time? What if it's a permanent fact or a daily routine? Like how you drink coffee every single morning. If the video isn't just playing once, but it's on a continuous loop forever, how does the grammar change? Well, for that, you need a completely different tool. But that's a story for another time.